Games Workshop screwed it up again. Yes, so hi to you guys with these news. I wanted to make this earlier, but unfortunately I couldn't since I'm in the middle of managing 3 channels now and writing and doing everything for them by myself pretty much. But yeah, guys, we have arrived at this that basically Games Workshop now is attacking even people that did not monetize their work, which is absolutely disgusting from them. We are going to watch the video of Janovich because he actually wanted us to see it. I mean, he literally said, react to this, make people know that this has been going on. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Games Workshop have taken, with 2 words, some fan animations that are from smaller channels. So they were like, oh, smaller channels, they don't have a lot of subscribers. They didn't even monetize their videos, or at least, I'm not sure about all of them, but at least one of them did not even monetize the channel at all. It was too small for that yet. So he wasn't making any money, and GW still put a strike on his channel. And at least they put a strike only on 1 out of all the videos that he made, because otherwise he could have 3 strikes and totally destroy his channel. So this is what is happening. They're on a roll again. They went and they decided to just put a strike, literal exterminadas, on a lot of smaller animators. I'm not sure about the bigger ones, but I haven't seen anything or heard anything about the bigger channels that have been doing animations for years. Now let us play this and we're going to stop it and discuss what Janovich is saying. So here it is.
Even more damage that Games Workshop is currently doing to its own fanbase. And this time it's just straight up illegal. Trust me, it gets really bad. On April 5th, I found out that Games Workshop had issued a copyright strike against several of my 3D assets that are freely available to anyone on Sketchfab. So now, not only are my animations at risk of being copyright striked at any moment, my public 3D assets are as well. There's loads of assets removed from other creators as well, as I will cover in this video. Just to be clear about this, the 3D models that were taken down were not in any way suitable for 3D printing, so do not compete with Games Workshop miniature business in any way. It would be quite difficult and frankly pointless to try and convert these to 3D printable STLs, when there are much better files for that purpose out there already on different websites like Cult 3D. Before we get into the legal stuff, I will first illustrate why striking down these kinds of 3D models is so extremely damaging to the community. When I finish a fan project, I share many of my 3D models on Sketchfab for free. These often have thousands of downloads, and it's been super cool to see other people use these in their own projects too. I've mostly seen them used for Warhammer game mods, but also in animations and other fan works as well. I've always thought this was super cool and a nice way for me to give something back to the community. So now let me explain why you should care. We all know Luton09. He's by far the most popular Warhammer lore channel on YouTube. When he makes a new video, he looks around the internet for nice artwork. For his latest Siege of Frax Part 2 episode, he used this great looking artwork in his thumbnail that was made by Mark Therese, who shared it publicly on his ArtStation account. But hey, would you look at that? I immediately recognize a lot of details that make me absolutely certain that he used my Dev Corps of Greek model that is available on Sketchfab as a direct reference. The specific proportions of the helmet, the shovel holster, the backpack and the lasgun are just too similar for it to be a coincidence. I think that's super cool. He didn't grant me, he doesn't have to, that's fine. I'm just happy to see it being put to good use. Again, this is not about me taking credit. This is to illustrate to you how this fan creator ecosystem functions and how sharing these 3D assets is beneficial to the wider community to the point it triggers all the way up to someone like Lewitton. This is clearly not just one isolated example. I could go on about how my stuff shows up in a lot of other content by Luton and other creators as well, but I think you get the point. Like I said at the start of the video, it's not just my models that were taken down. A friend of mine named Cybeck, who is the creator of the Steel Covenant animation on YouTube, also had a total of 7 vehicles and characters assets removed. For full transparency, I will admit that I did have various donation links in the description of these items, and in Cybeck's case, there was a single link to his Ko-Fi page. However, I can prove that they also remove fan art when there's absolutely no monetization or other incentive involved. The new 4639 had all of his 3D assets copyright struck all the way back in February 2025. He is not a YouTuber, he does not make animations, he doesn't have any links for donations, Patreon or anything. By now you know I'm not just talking out of my ass, I've made extra sure to confirm this is from the direct source, because if it's true, then that means Games Workshop will strike at unmonetized fan art. And yes, it is absolutely true of course. And we don't even know how many other people had their fan art removed as well, because without videos like these, nobody would ever know about it. In my opinion, things are really fucking bad right now. Much worse than most people think. What's going on now is actually more ruthless than what was happening during the Warhammer Plus debacle. Back then, we sort of assumed that they only went after monetized fan animations. I would have never thought they would go after unmonetized content or parody. This sentiment was widely shared amongst the community, and you can still often read people commenting that they don't approve of what Games Workshop is doing, but tell you that as long as you are not monetizing your content itself, that you are safe. Unfortunately, this is wrong. I can irrefutably prove that it is wrong. This is not even about fan animations anymore. The implications of that are really bad for the entire Warhammer community. Let's take a look at Games Workshop's own intellectual property guidelines as can be found on their website. I know technically this doesn't really apply to fan animations, or these are in their zero tolerance category, but the 3D models are not in the zero tolerance category, so it makes sense that their fan artwork policies should apply to them as usual. Here it goes. Individuals may create their own artwork, drawings and designs based on our characters and settings, but these must 1. Not include artwork or imagery copied from any official Games Workshop material. 2. Be non-commercial, with no money being received or paid. This includes all forms of fundraising activity and generation of any advertising revenue. 3. Not be publicly distributed except for no-charge digital distribution. 4. Make it clear that they are unofficial without using any Games Workshop logos. 5. Not be prejudicial to the goodwill, reputation or integrity of Games Workshop or its intellectual property. These models were not ripped game assets, scans or anything else directly copied from a Games Workshop product. They are made from scratch by the creators themselves. They are not monetized or in any way commercial. They do not generate any advertising revenue. There is no implication that these are official models by Games Workshop, and specifically mentioned they are only made for personal projects. And yeah, I'm not even gonna bother with the final point because Games Workshop doesn't have any goodwill or reputation whatsoever anyway. We just confirmed that the removal of these 3D models goes against their very own fan art policies, as can be found on their own website. They are just straight up attacking fan art that is compliant with their own intellectual property guidelines. How insane is that? So what is the next step? Attacking lore videos? Despite what many people like to believe, these...
Okay, before we go any further, there's really nothing to comment on previously. He is just very straight to the point. I just want to say right here that I don't know if it's possible, but if many fans gather together, once again, I don't know if it's possible. I'm just saying the only way I see Games Workshop being held accountable for literal illegal behavior and not following their own freaking guidelines is if a few people get together and if they have enough resources to sue them. I mean, who is going to do that? It's going to take thousands upon thousands, and we all know what happened to EMNG, who barely escaped with his life basically from GW, and that was one of the worst things. But they dropped it. The point is, they tried to absolutely ruin his life. I mean, they're capable of this, so the only way is like for a few people to sue them, but then they do have to have a ton of money. They have to be prepared to go all the way, and who is ready for that? I don't think there's a group of people that can actually do that. I mean, maybe, but I don't see anyone to want to get this on their head, literally, to bury this burden just to make a point. But they do deserve that, because you can't literally just follow these guidelines. You're still infringing, although you aren't. So if YouTube also had some kind of a system that they can check if a company is correct or not in their claim, and they kind of do, but sometimes it just falls flat on its face. But if they were just really serious, at least they could have stopped the takedowns of the videos, because they're fan animations. They promote the whole IP, and let's not forget how many people were brought to Warhammer 40k just because fans made a ton of animations. People saw them and became fans of Warhammer 40k, and before that they didn't know what the hell was 40k. So yeah, 40k may exist for how many years now? I mean, 38 about. And I'm a super geek, because I just have to give myself as an example here. I'm a super geek. I love Star Wars and other stuff like that. You know, I know about Stargate and Star Trek and Andromeda, even Andromeda. A lot of things. I mean, I used to be more of a sci-fi fan before. Now I'm not so much. I just like Warhammer 40k because it's so unique and the many layers of it and all of that. So to me, it's something entirely different. But the point is that I know so many like things like that and universes like that, and I never heard of Warhammer 40k 5 years ago because I just haven't. GW has done nothing to make themselves mainstream before all the things that happened just very recently and now with the Amazon deals that they do want to become mainstream. But before that, nobody like knew what the heck is 40k. I mean, by nobody, I mean mainstream people. That's what I mean. Like normies, more people. Of course, if you have played board games, you would know probably for sure. But if you haven't, like myself, I just haven't been around such people at all. Um, how would you know? So fans, and in particular Sayama Pedersen, because his Astartes project is the most successful, he has the biggest hand in the popularity of Warhammer 40k for the last 5 years. He's like, look at this amazing animation. And people like me that were like, wow, what is this? And how can I like know more about this now? It's amazing, and start googling stuff. This can happen only because of the fans. And then, of course, after him, there was a lot more animations that were also very good. But the start, this is like the staple and had so many views and all those things. And he did monetize that. And that's why they were like, well, if you can't beat them, join them. So, and join them, I mean, take them and just assimilate them like this. Just give them money. And I mean, who knows what they did. But we'll see how it goes with the Astartes 2, that it is coming. The point is that fans did the work for GW and not GW. They didn't do the work. So every fan animation that is released, it is helping freaking GW. It is putting money in their pockets, literally, because, you know, it's making people fans. So if people are fans, they're gonna buy something. They maybe just join Warhammer Plus just to watch the official stuff. Who knows? They maybe even start in the hobby and start painting and buying figures. Maybe even playing the game. They may just start buying Joy Toys because they like the action figures. They may buy all the freaking video games because there's so many of them. And that's gonna be again not because GW has some kind of a commercial and mainstream way of presenting Warhammer to the public. No, it's because the fans are doing that for them, and they not only do not appreciate that, they don't recognize it. They just like they're oblivious to it. How else would you not want to support your community, your fan community that creates content and makes Warhammer 40k so much more popular than it actually is? Literally, my friends as well, some of my friends found out about Warhammer 40k because of me, and some of them did became fans and read novels and novels because of me. Just because of me, you know? I didn't twist their arm. They just found out what it was from me. They got it and they were like, oh, I'm fascinated. I gotta get into this. It's amazing. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. It's amazing. But the company that this product is coming from is trying to bury it by trying to bury its own fan base, the talent of its own fan base, because those are the talented people like Janovich here as well, who actually can make animations, that they can also make these models. Like he said, these models do not coincide to anything that GW actually have. There's no equivalency of their products anywhere. They're obviously not official, and they're obviously not even for sale. So why are they doing that? It's so anti-consumer, anti-anything. It's anti-them. They're shooting themselves in the foot. If they remove all animations, like then what's gonna happen? You're just gonna see Warhammer from where exactly? Just from a trailer and just go and actually subscribe to their service, which has so much less than YouTube actually has in terms of Warhammer content. YouTube has so much more for free than their service has. Their service is still very poor, like so poor in content. In comparison, it's been what, 3 years now? So yeah, they have to be more consistent with that. I know that animations are hard to produce and all those things. I get that. Now, let me see your comments real quick, and then we're gonna continue with the video. There's just a bit more from the video, and we're also gonna address some other things that he said in his previous videos about this. So thank you, Cecil, for this. And Obi Wayne, hello, Games Workshop, shooting itself in the foot again. Yes, yeah, actually also wrote that. JD Jester, I only got into Warhammer because I'm a World of Darkness player. When Alpha Busa made a Hunter the parenting, I watched if the Emperor had a TTS device, GW owns them at least. The ad revenue they got from that. Did they? Did they? I mean, I'm gonna come back to your comment because I do want to say something about that. Low spec Looney's Gaming had you too. The stream stuffers for me on the Rumble side, so just watch it here then. I mean, what can I do for Rumble? Can't really do much for Rumble if it stutters there. It's gonna be fine when it uploads probably, but it is what it is. It's usually perfectly fine. Obi-Wan, I completely stopped buying GW products because unfortunately the only way to make them listen is by speaking with the wallet. Yes, of course, that is the case. I don't know, but thought you should know. Thank you. Yeah, I should know, but it's just that I can't do anything about it, unfortunately. I stream with 10,000 kilobits per second. On the Rumble, I do see that it's 4 and 5, which is weird. Maybe it has something to do with their dynamic IP. I gotta figure this out, actually. I'm also streaming on Kick for some reason, and I haven't even set that up, so I'm not sure why I'm streaming there. I gotta go check. I mean, I think Kick has issues anyway. I'm just gonna stop that. I can stop that. So hopefully Rumble improves now. I stopped Kick. I just gotta delete Kick altogether. I'm not sure what I'm doing with that. I'm just experimenting, basically. Okay, so so about Alpha Busa, Janovich also mentioned him in one of his 2 videos that he wasn't actually, GW didn't actually contact him to take down anything. He did that on his own because he was seeing what's happening with everything else, and of course people wanted him to finish the TTS because there was only 1 episode left. To my memory, I covered that many times. I think there was only 1 episode left. He just had to finish it and release it. He said that it's like 90% or 99% ready, and he never did that. So I always said, well, I understand what happened then with all the other creators. It is horrible, but Alpha Booza, my guy, you have already the whole series on your channel. Do you think that the releasing of 1 more episode will make them go after you? I just don't get that. Because if they want to take you down, they can take you down for each and every one of these TTS animations. So why not just release the final episode and be done with it? It's gonna be up on YouTube. They can't really do what? They can what can they do? I mean, they can go to him and be like, hey, take them down, or just, oh, you have now 1 strike on the channel. But it just doesn't make any sense for them to do that if there's only 1 episode that is the difference. And the episodes are so many. Why not just do that for whatever episode? But they didn't. They never did that. Maybe because TTS is too far off from what they would do. I don't know. I mean, TTS is something that does not have an equivalent. And as we see now, I guess that doesn't stop them anymore. Parody also is what they're not stopping at, because one of the videos that they have been taking down lately has been a parody, and they don't care. Parody is protected under fair use, and they still did that. So once again, they shouldn't, but they did that. By the way, low spec, check if it's better now, if you can, because the speed got up, so hopefully that's fine. Obi-Wan says, and I think taking Alpha Booster down would cause a huge outrage, even much greater. Yeah, but if I was Alpha Booster and I had so many videos already, and GW didn't say anything to me, actually didn't make me quit or anything like that, I would be like, here's the last episode, guys, enjoy. That's it. What's the freaking difference? I mean, for the fans, gonna make the biggest difference because we do want to see how that ends. But for GW, what's the difference? What? I don't know. Okay, continue with the video.
Are not safe anymore, and perhaps they've never been safe. Most lore YouTubers have always used tons of official artwork in their videos and thumbnails, and are heavily monetized. They have Patreons, they have ad revenue, so from the perspective of Games Workshop's own policies, they are even more infringing on their IP than these 3D models were. Warhammer Plus has been making their own lore content, so it's direct competition. Don't be surprised when lore channels will be attacked next. Seriously, people need to wake up to the fact that Games Workshop is on a second wave of attack against fan creators. We thought that they had learned their lesson 4 years ago, but they have not, and this is only going to get much worse. Think about it. After all the shit they pulled with Warhammer Plus, there was a massive boycott. To this very day, 4 years later, you can still find people making comments that they will never ever again buy another Games Workshop product because of what they did. And what did Games Workshop do? They laid low for a little bit until they hoped we all forgot about it and started destroying the community from the bottom up by going after small content creators in the hopes that we would not notice. They literally don't care about any boycott. Their stock prices have recovered and are higher than ever before. They probably think it's all worth it. From their perspective, if they lose every single Warhammer fan right now, that wouldn't even be a bad thing. They are trying to get rid of all the old lore and all the old fans. They want to get rid of all competition, then reform and sanitize the franchise and become mainstream, because that will earn them back everything and more.
Damn it, I hope. I mean, yeah, it seems like the way that they're changing the lore, that they're trying to, make it more vanilla for everyone, which is horrible because the reason that people got into Warhammer 40k in the first place, and even me, and by even me, I just mean that I never heard of it and I didn't need the universe to form into something else so I can like it. I just liked the way it is exactly because it was so different from everything else that I have ever seen, and I'm sick of vanilla things. I mean, I don't know how to explain that. It's just that there's just so many layers to Warhammer 40k, and it's so badass and manly, and I like badass and manly things. So there. But yeah, I don't think that they will go after lore channels because mostly the lore channels are very big. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully, because I mean by that token they can go after me and whoever that ever used a split second of anything official, which would be disgusting. I mean, people are using shots from anything these days as long as it's short enough. But by that point, I mean, that is why I try to create some AI stuff that look exactly or very close, extremely close to Warhammer before, so I can avoid some of that in advance. But of course, people don't like that. So I'm mixing the two, or just, showing official stuff, because official stuff so far have not been captured so far. So far everybody can react to trailers that Warhammer posts and on their official page about games or animations, and it's always been good. But when it comes to like parts of some of their shows, and in the past when they tried to promote their show about the Blood Angels, which was Angels of Death, they actually copyrighted everything that had to do with the trailer and the coverage of the live event in which they announced the series. I think the trailer itself, I had to cut that whole section when I actually reacted on that live stream. That was a few years ago. So if it's not too short, if it's like from their official animation, they will totally copyright that, at least in my knowledge. But hopefully they won't copyright lore, because the lore is just retelling of the lore or interpretation of the lore or whatever. And a lot of times, yeah, there's some official art used, but it's just, moving around, and it's literally a transformative content. So I don't get why wouldn't, I mean, that's literally transformative content. It is in the guidelines of fair use. We all cover that, how we do things. So hopefully they don't, I mean, I know what you're gonna say. If they did that and they took down people that just had some 3D model thingies that are not even usable for printing, they're just there to give back to the community somehow, and they even took down this, then what is to stop them to take down anything? Yeah, I know, but I just hope that they won't go there. I mean, that's what I have, just hope, like nothing else really, just hope.
Least we can do right now is warn people about what's happening. When people's favorite channels and content suddenly starts disappearing, they should at least know why. New fans of the setting should know that this company hates its own fandom. Games Workshop should know that we want to let them get away with their illegal copyright takedown abuse by striking down fan art that is literally compliant with their very own fan art policies. It's their IP. If they are so hellbent on burning it to the ground, they can do so for all I care. But I'll make damn sure everybody knows what they're doing. And in order for anything to change, no matter how small, someone has to be willing to make some noise about it. Leave your comment below the video to let everybody know what you think. Write an email to Games Workshop legal team, and if you're another content creator, react to this video and cover it in your own way so that the wider Warhammer community knows what's going on.
Yeah. So that is what I did, guys. Now we're gonna, again, talk about some of the other things, but Obi-Wan says, so in other words, they want to go to the Ubisoft route, screw things up, lose a bunch of money, and get in 5 to 10 years, what is that, bad up, or what is that, years bad up by some Chinese company. Bought up, you mean, okay, sorry, it's late. Yeah, interesting strategy. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. That would be ridiculous, actually, if they do that. So yeah, so basically, guys, if you go to Janovich's channel, you can see the other 2 videos. He goes into depth, the channels that have been taken down, the videos that have been taken down, all of that. But you know, something that he said, I just wanted to point out is again that Brava Habusa wasn't bothered, but he did the right thing now, seeing what is happening. That is where I just don't agree again with Janovich. I mean, this is the only thing that I don't agree with him, because once again, as I explained, like, how many years was that? I forgot, like 3, I'm not sure. Okay, let's say 3 years ago, he still could have put out this episode. He could profit from the episode. We will profit from the episode because we're gonna watch it for years. And now they can come and like do something. But even if they do again, they can do that for every video on the channel. That is TTS. So again, I don't see that logic at all. I just don't. It was 1 episode. He didn't actually take down the whole TTS, you know. It's still there, as far as I know. I mean, unless something happened and I don't know, but it's still there. Okay, so that was 10 days ago where all of this have started. Maybe it's just gonna be brief and we are going to not see anymore. More people taken down. I also watched some channels with fan animations that are still fine. I have to check them like one by one, but I think so. I can reach out to some of them and ask them like what's happening, but hopefully they're fine. It does seem like they're just targeting very, very, very small channels, and that's why. So it can go unnoticed and they can say that they protected their IP, which is ridiculous. So to Games Workshop, I would say, guys, those people are promoting your IP a lot. And they're doing it for free. Because you damn sure know that to commission someone to create a 3D animation, it's very expensive. It takes hours, days, weeks, months, some yeah, even years to create like just a few minutes of like amazingly epic animation. It takes just so much. I mean, especially if one person is doing it. If a bunch of people are doing it, of course, it's gonna take a lot less. But the point is, you need a lot of money. You need the manpower. And those people are doing it on their own, with their own money, with their own software. I mean, they bought the software. They spend the hours and days and weeks to learn how to do animation and to model and whatever. Maybe they took some space in proportions from somewhere. That's normal. Who cares? They're supposed to do that. It's fine. And they did this funny stuff that are contributing to you and to your IP. They put money in your pocket because literally they're making people fans. They're converting people to fans. Like there's a normie walking on the street and he's seeing that on his phone, let's say, and he's like, oh my gosh, this is super epic. Like, what is this? I gotta know. And then he just stumbles upon and he falls right into GW shop. I'm just kidding, but you know what's happening. So, what is the logic that you gotta do this to people to totally tarnish your name in the eyes of people? Because now, for years to come, a lot of people, and those people are gonna also become normies. I mean, normies are gonna know eventually what's happening with all of the things that we're dealing with now. I mean, we all have been the unaware people once. We didn't know what woke was. We didn't know what anti-woke was. We didn't know that companies are doing certain things, screwing us up. But one by one by one, when it's starting affecting you directly in your wallet, you're going to find out even indirectly just by the, I mean, directly would be like directly if you see a news about it and then you decide to buy something, it's like more expensive. I mean, we can go very, very long here about that, but the point is, you're doing that to the IP, to the company, to the customer, to the fans, to the fan creators that are helping you make Warhammer a lot more popular than it is. Like, imagine if Henry Cavill has any say in what is, I mean, he doesn't, about what gets taken down, what isn't, but if he was some kind of executive and he could decide those things, he would totally decide not to. I'm sure that he is watching some of these fan animations, because when you're a fan, you're gonna do that no matter who you are. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, a fan animation, gotta see it. Especially at Stardate, for sure he saw that. So he would love that, he would support that. He would not be like, stuck up royalty pretend guy with literally stuck in his butt and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna drink my tea and be super pretentious and ban everything and just go after everybody. Yes, I'm so awesome. He's not gonna do that. And Obi-Wan says, you mentioned you did some AI animations, or what did you do? Sorry, I was shortly AFK and heard only the end of it. I'm gonna let you know just now. And MMK, hi to you. Hi Gary, always love seeing your chat. Thank you. And welcome. Always happy to see you here. So yeah, Obi-Wan, you gotta go through the channel a bit, but I literally did funny animations, similar to TTS. I mean, I got inspired by TTS, and I did several animations in which I first had to create the Emperor himself. I went to so many software to do that. Then I used a particular site in which I created the animations, and then a lot of stuff actually. I'm gonna just post one. There are a few. I'm just gonna post one when I find that real quick in the chat. But yeah, they're supposed to be funny. They're literally like parodies as well. So yeah, they can also take down that. I hope they don't. I did one to prove the custodies are real actually. And the female custody speak to the emperor for the first time. Okay, we're gonna send you that one in the chat about the female custody. That one is very brief, but it's still fun. I stopped doing those just because I don't have time now, but I could always continue them. And it's about paying I have to pay the service. I can't just produce endless amounts of animations without paying, so it costs money, unfortunately, to do these. And that's why I just can't do them like all the time. So this is the female custody video. Oh, certainly. Yeah, same. Before fem studies, I used to spend between oi. Oh, that's a lot. On Game Workshop products, paints, codexes, minis. Oh, bells and whistles for a few years, but now I just bought one 40, 40, I just forgot. Pounds box with 2 war dogs. Working to make the diorama, but not increasing size of my armies. Yeah, sir, they just save your money and do whatever you can for your health, really. That's most important. And not just give money to Games Workshop, whatever is essential. I mean, I still have to paint your custodies that you gave me. I'm super grateful for that. It's just that I barely have time to breathe, especially now that I have to manage 3 channels, and I'm going to need time to get things going. That's the thing, because I now know what to do, but it's just gonna take time to, get into the rhythm of making videos about all the channels every week and be consistent. and of course with the streams, get a stream on each channel. Everything just gonna happen in due time. It's not gonna be like at the second, but it's gonna happen. So, okay, I'm gonna send you one more, but you can always find these. Just scroll through videos, and you're always gonna find these videos. When you see the Emperor, you're gonna know it's an AI video. Sweetheart, when you make those custodies, I will come to Sofia with my memories for a game. Oh, really? Amazing. Are you allowed to have ad revenue from these fan animations, or does YouTube make a think if you do so? No, they are all monetized. Yes, they are. Not that I can make a ton of money with the views that I'm getting on these, because you know I have to have the same content in order for me to actually build a momentum. So that's why I'm doing these interesting curious videos now, and that's gonna be like the consistent content. But when you do a different content like these animations, the YouTube algorithm, it's like getting a hit in the face, and it's like, what are you doing? This is different now. What to do with you? What is your channel about? I don't know. And I didn't know about those things before, but I do now. So you gotta be careful what I'm actually doing. I'm still in the testing phase, so I can test a few content types, but you know, besides that, I have to keep one. Then I have to decide what to do in the future. But yeah, those videos are monetized. There's no problem, and they're really more parody than not. I mean, they're super parodies. Everything is a parody. But yeah, Games Workshop totally could get those as well. Who knows? Hopefully they don't. I mean, I gave the money to make them, you know, I put my hours to make them. It was just so hard just to make one emperor that worked and then make him consistent character throughout all the videos. I mean, that's very hard to do. That's not something just, oh yeah, AI, just do everything for me. No. There's still hours upon hours you have to create what you want, and you have to see how it goes. And then, yeah, not everything that comes out is actually doable. Like most of the things that come out are not. So yeah. And the boys around, I am not a creep or fanboy. Gary knows. You mean the doggies? What do you mean? Okay, guys, I gotta go. But that was really it. I mean, I did mention what Janovich was talking about his other two videos, but if you want to see details of who exactly was taking down the channels, you just can go to his channel and check. I put the link to this video down there, and through it you can just go to his channel and check the others. But yeah, just the only thing that I'm not in agreement with him is just about Brava Fabusa, that he could just do this last episode and be done with it. We still would have had it for the last few years and still would have enjoyed it, and he would not have any issues, because if he was to have any issues, then he could have for all the animations that he already did for all TTS, but he never did, so that is it. I know one thing, maybe we should move to Trench Crusade. No, we shouldn't, because they're also idiots there, unfortunately. I mean, the developers. Yeah, it seems interesting, but the people that are doing it are, again, you know, those people, the woke people that are like, nah, you can't do this, you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. Yes, they are. Yeah, I covered Trench Crusade actually when all the scandals about it came out. So also that video is also on the channel. Yeah, we have to start our own stuff at this point. Our own something K, okay? It's gonna be totally different from 40K. Just Space King stuff, Space King. The most woke resistant thing is if it's open source, like the SCP universe, for example. I don't know that. I'll be waiting. I gotta Google that. I haven't heard of that, I'm not sure. Is it abbreviation, sorry, for something? You gotta let me know. Okay, love you guys. Until next time with me, the 40 Campers, you can check whatever is gonna appear here eventually, or just watch my latest video, which is why why powerlifters suck so hard as bodybuilders. I mean, that's not the title, but yeah, I worked on that so hard that I'm just starting mistaking the title. But yeah, you gotta see why powerlifters would suck so hard as Space Marines. I just did that today, so that's here. So thank you guys, and until next time. Bye bye for now. Love ya.